All right. Hey guys, welcome back to the CulePodcast. Welcome back to another episode, season 3, episode 43. Now, guys, on today's episode, it's going to be a very special episode because, as you guys can see on my right, I have a special guest. I have RENK Talks Ball. And then we are as well going to be talking about the Copa America and the Euros, as the Euros, they start tomorrow and the Copa America starts shortly thereafter. But RENK, just tell me a little bit about yourself, just like I've been following your channel. I know you talk about Argentine football, but just basically, how did you start YouTube?
Well, I started YouTube, at least this channel back in 2022.
Okay.
The coming off the hype of the Copa America win, the Argentine football team was doing extremely well, and I
Yeah.
wanted to create that channel kind of to give people information of the Argentinian national team and Argentinian football in general ahead of the World Cup, and then cover the World Cup itself. Obviously, it ended up being an extremely positive experience there. Um, yeah, and basically just try to expose South American football to the rest of the world, because obviously there are a lot of football channels that talk about South American football, but in Spanish, so it's not easily accessible for other parts of the world. And yeah,
Yeah.
that was my main goal.
Yeah, I mean, what a huge event, just like right after Argentina win the Copa America, which just for me, just after so many years of heartbreak and just seeing Argentina finally lift that trophy and just seeing the satisfaction on Messi, because I know you're a Liverpool fan, but I'm a Barcelona fan and I've been following Messi in Barcelona for years, and just seeing that struggle for Messi, it was always a little bit heartbreaking. But after Argentina, they win the Copa America, and then following, a year and a half after we win the World Cup, that was absolutely huge. What's up, Sapana? Well, welcome to the stream. But okay, so let's just get straight into it. I was thinking first we can talk about the Copa America, and then we can talk about the Euros. As an Argentine, how are you feeling ahead of this Copa America? Me personally, I'm feeling good. I'm feeling good.
Yeah, I also feel extremely positive about this Copa America. I feel like the main thing about this Copa America is that there's no pressure anymore on the
Mm-hmm.
team after winning the Copa America and then the World Cup. I feel like the expectations are definitely there to do well again, but there's not that heavy pressure to finally win something after that big drought that we had with so many losses in finals that was really
Mm-hmm.
putting so much
Yeah.
pressure on the team. I feel like that pressure is finally gone, and this team can just flow and play
Yeah.
without that pressure, basically. And I feel like that's extremely positive. Also, you can also look at from the other perspective to say that maybe this team doesn't have the drive anymore. I
Yeah.
believe that they have the hunger to win more because they are trying to create a dynasty, and these players
Yeah.
only want to create more history. But you can also look at it from that perspective, that maybe we become a bit complacent because we've been so
Mm-hmm.
good for so long. There's also going to be a target on our back. Every team is going to want to beat us, because it's going to be
Absolutely.
their main goal. Every game is
Yeah.
going to be extremely difficult. But yeah, with how the team is playing, I think you can only be positive about how
Yeah,
our chances for this
I
tournament.
absolutely, absolutely. I think Argentina right now, they should be feeling good, but like just looking at it from the bat, Argentina can't be coming into the tournament like feeling, oh my God, we're unstoppable, because that just isn't the case. I think anyone on the day, they can beat us. For example, like Uruguay, they beat us in qualifiers 2
Yeah,
0 Looking at that match, Uruguay played much better than us. Um,
yeah,
And then you also have Brazil in there. I know that Brazil, they've been struggling in qualifiers, but this is an international tournament. Things can change. Vinny Jr., Rodrigo, these players who at times aren't that good for Brazil, in this international tournament, they can do something. And then you also have some other top teams in there. You have the United States, who played against Brazil, drew, but then lost 5-1 against Colombia. And then you have Canada, you have Mexico, and then a strong Ecuador as well. Just looking at the Copa America, who do you think are the teams that Argentina, should be wary, or just basically keeping an eye on?
Well, there are going to be three teams that are going to come from the other side of the bracket. I think we're going to
Mm-hmm.
look at it pretty soon, but I think that Argentina overall got a pretty favorable draw, considering the teams that we can face, not only in our
Mm-hmm.
group, but in the knockouts. But coming from the other side of the bracket, I feel like Uruguay, Brazil, and Colombia are the main standouts for me. Obviously, Uruguay and Brazil are always teams that are very tough in the Copa America.
Mm-hmm.
Colombia are coming into this tournament with amazing form. I think they are like 20 plus games without losing, and they've been playing some great football. They have a lot of great footballers across all their lines, and I feel like they are also going to be extremely dangerous. But the thing is that those teams are kind of going to eliminate themselves in the other side of the bracket. As to the teams that Argentina may face before the final, I'm looking at Ecuador. Chile is slowly but surely under Ricardo Gareca making a slow rise. They had a very nice friendly against Paraguay a few days ago, so those would be the teams that I would look out for.
Yeah, and those teams like they're always like really difficult to play against. They like to be physical, they like to make things gritty. And just it's never easy playing against those Paraguays, the Chiles, because playing in South America, something that's different from Europe is that these teams will go at you. These teams will make it so difficult for you to play football. And looking at the teams, and we're going to be talking about the groups right now. One of the teams that it's in our group is actually Chile. Guys, let me share my screens so I can show you guys. Let me just make it a little bit bigger so you guys can see. We're gonna go group by group. But this is Argentina's group right now. So as you can see at the top, it's Argentina, Canada, Chile, and Peru. That's Group A. Group B, it's Ecuador, Mexico, Jamaica, and Venezuela. Group C, you have Uruguay, USA, Bolivia, and Panama. And Group D, you have Brazil, Colombia, Costa Rica, and Paraguay. Actually, just like going off on a tangent, I actually really like that they're including like these North American teams,
Yes.
and these Central American teams like into the Copa America, just because only just like South America, it just feels different. I don't know your thoughts about that.
Yeah, no, I agree. Honestly, looking back at it, I think the most enjoyable Copa America was that Copa America Centenario all the way in 2016, with this exact same format also played in the United States, inviting 6 teams from CONCACAF, and that way you can have a more well-balanced group stage, 4 groups of 4, very simple to understand. Not like the last one we had where it was 2 groups of 5, and it pretty much rewarded mediocrity by allowing 4 of the 5 teams to progress to the knockouts. I feel like that definitely didn't help sell the Copa America outside South America, but this format definitely feels a lot better. And yeah, it feels a lot more genuine to have more teams from CONCACAF as well joining, the best from CONCACAF, to see just how much they can compete against CONMEBOL teams, which is always a talking point. Just how big is the gap, and how do the best teams from CONCACAF match up against these CONMEBOL teams?
100%. Chile has owned Argentina in the past, but still Argentina my second team because of Messi. Yo, Sampana, what's that comment? What's that comment? Yo, those are fighting words. But okay, so let's start like the Copa America predictor. RENK, how do you think this group is going to go? Me personally, I think that Argentina is obviously going to top this group. The first game is, I believe, against is it
Canada.
Chile? Oh, it's Canada.
We play Canada on the 20th, which is going to be the very first game of the Copa America.
Okay. How do you see Group A going? Which you think is going to be the toughest group for Argentina?
That's a good question, honestly. Looking at it from afar, I feel like Chile may be the toughest opponent that Argentina may face. I still think that we should top this group, and possibly with 9 points as well, just because I believe we are far better than all these teams in pretty much every single line, and they also haven't been on the best form. Besides Chile, who, like I said, under Gareca have actually made a bit of a resurgence and had some positive results. I definitely have Argentina in first place. And I think that because of those things that I was saying, I believe that Chile is going to take the second spot. Not only because of the form that they've been showing, but also because they completely dominate that head-to-head matchup against Peru, that Battle of the Pacific that they have. Chile is always the team to come out on top. And I believe that it's not going to change, especially with the form that Peru is currently in. Last place in the qualifiers. They really have not looked good at all. They are still relying on some players that are definitely not at their prime. Paulo Guerrero was called up again, and definitely the guy is a legend, but you need to know when to let go. And yeah, I feel like Chile should be able to get that second spot. Basically, their test is going to be that game against Canada. But Canada is also in a mess of it themselves. They hired Jesse Marsh, which it's definitely an exciting signing, but we're going to see how he adapts with
No.
such little time to prepare. And the Canadian team has been a mess lately, even with some of the racing stars that they have, like
No.
Jonathan David, Alfonso Davis. Definitely
Davis, yeah.
have some very good individual talent, but I don't know if it's enough to push them over the edge. Then between Peru and Canada, I feel like it's a bit of a toss-up, but as of today, I would give it to Canada for that third spot. But yeah, I feel this is how the group is gonna go.
For funny, you basically hit like all the points I was going to talk about. Just like I completely agree. I think like Peru, they've been struggling a lot, recently. And Canada, they have like a ton of emerging talent. Chile, they've been on this unbeaten run, and they've always caused problems to Argentina in the past. And I think Argentina, looking at the talent of the squad, and NJ, welcome to the stream. Just as this comment says, I think the squad that Argentina have in general is very well built. Is very well built, and I think they just have balance in like multiple areas. They have your outside threat, out in the wide areas where you're Nico Gonzalez, you have Di Maria, you have Garnacho who could potentially be an option. I don't think that Scaloni has released his full, squad. I think he's going to release that after tomorrow's match.
Yeah,
Is that correct?
after
Yeah.
the game against Guatemala, we're gonna see
Mm-hmm.
which three players from this
Yeah.
preliminary squad get dropped. But I feel like it's not gonna make a huge difference. The team is basically the same that it's always
Yeah.
been. Many people were questioning why he didn't call up Paulo Dybala after the
Ah,
amazing season he had with Roma.
it
But I
was
think it just
surprising.
shows it just shows the quality that Argentina have,
Yeah.
that we are not
Mm-hmm.
considering again a name like him, because there's basically no space for him in this team, in this system. Just not even coming off the bench, because under Scaloni's system, Messi's always going to play, and then you won't have more options out wide, like you were saying, like Garnacho.
Yeah.
So yeah, I feel like it just shows how good this
Yeah.
squad is.
Is this Messi's last international tournament? I don't think so. I don't think so. I think even if, for example, let's hopefully knock on wood, if Argentina they do win it, I don't think that he's gonna call it there, because he did say in an interview that because he was asked on like whether he would play in the 2026 World Cup, and he basically answered, it all depends on my fitness. If I'm feeling well, then I will try to make that, and I don't chase the records. I'm not gonna go and try to play in another World Cup just to say I played in 6 World Cups. That's not Messi. Messi's going to be wanting to play in, to like play in that tournament if he feels like he could help the team. And, Messi said it all depends on his fitness. If, his body is willing and he's able to play at a top level, then this is probably not his last international tournament. How did Garnacho get in over Dybala? Dybala has been the best Serie A player this season. Well, I mean, it's just as RENK said, in that system, Messi's always going to be playing, and Scaloni he prioritized other players and other profiles, and Garnacho is that, because in that system, Dybala is just going to be coming off the bench as a super sub. But
Yeah.
what are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, definitely. Obviously, I think that Dybala is extremely talented, and he can offer a lot to any team that he plays at. And I do rate him higher than Garnacho as an overall player. But like we were saying, Scaloni is just looking for a profile of player here. And I think that he basically saw no situation in which he would like to have Dybala coming off the bench, and not rather other player that can offer him something different within that system. So those would be the reasons.
Yeah, precisely. Okay, so now the Group B, you have Ecuador, Mexico, Jamaica, and Venezuela. Now, Venezuela, they did start, really well, I believe, in qualifiers, but I don't know if they like fizzled out. Just like I don't know if they've been as good in the past. But how do you see Group B playing out?
Group B looks extremely interesting. You have
Yeah.
a lot of teams that are either exciting or are always pushing for a spotlight into these tournaments. I think that Ecuador is one of the main talking points for this Copa America, because they've had this young generational talent coming up that's pushed them obviously to qualify to the 2022 World Cup. They did pretty well there, even though they didn't progress from the group. They are doing well in the qualifiers now as well. And now going into this group in the Copa America, they'll be looking to finally have a statement performance at the Copa America, because that's something that we've been demanding Ecuador, that they are, even though they do great in the qualifiers, they often underperform at the Copa America. And Felix Sanchez is going to try to make a statement with this young team, obviously with players like Caicedo, great defenders in Pacho and in Capié, who've been both
Yeah.
really good in the Bundesliga. My main worry for Ecuador is going to be the goal scoring. I feel like we saw in that friendly we had against them that they really didn't know how to create any
Yeah.
chances.
No.
Obviously, they have 17-year-old Kendry Paez, who I really rate. He's already been bought
He's
by
going to
Chelsea.
Chelsea. Yeah, he's
He's
going to
already going
Chelsea.
to Chelsea, but seeing him in the Copa Libertadores with Independiente del Valle has already been extremely amazing. How the personality this kid has, but I think he is not going to have enough delivery, and I don't know who's going to be that main striker that is going to get the goals for Ecuador. They are probably going to have to rely again on Ener Valencia, which is just extremely worrying, and that gives teams like Jamaica, Mexico, and Venezuela a chance to shine. Venezuela, like you were saying, just amazing in the qualifier so far, or at least much better than what they usually do.
Yeah, yeah.
A lot of exciting talent as well. Soteldo is a player that I've liked for many, many years now. Ever since I saw him play with Santos in that Copa Libertadores, it was fantastic. Now he's at Grêmio, still playing in Brazilian Serie A. And even players like Rondon still kicking it. He recently won the CONCACAF Champions Cup with Pachuca, scoring 2 goals in the final. So, hey, Venezuela have a legitimate shot, and people are going to try to see what can Mexico do, because that's always the main talking point. Like they are supposed to be the kings of CONCACAF. Well, they need to progress from a group like this, but with the form they're in, like you can talk about a bit more about that, because how is Mexico entering this tournament?
Precisely because Mexico, they haven't been really good, and the Mexican media, they've been actually just like slandering the national team. They just haven't been putting results in the past World Cup, and not even to talk about the qualifiers and everything. They haven't been at their best. And Mexico, when you look at it at first glance, you think, oh, Mexico is going to be topping this group, but are they really? Because some of the games and some of the results, it hasn't been convincing. And that's where we talk about Venezuela. Like, hey, could this be Venezuela's chance, to maybe get out of that group? And actually, challenge Mexico. And talking about Ecuador, they did have really good qualifiers. And as you said, they struggled in previous Copa Americas, and in the World Cup, they were knocked out in the group with Netherlands and with Senegal. And some of the performance that they put in there, you think like if they just had a little bit more, they could go over the line, because I think they have some really solid fundamentals, very solid defensively. They have the talent. A lot of players they play in Europe. It's about, can they make it over the line. But Renk, this is the third person who's joined is Alvaro. He's another co-host of the channel. Right now he's a little bit busy, and so like he wasn't able to show his face. But Alvaro, are you there?
Yeah, you guys hear me?
Yeah, perfect. So this is Renk. He's from Argentina. He lives in Buenos Aires, and
How you
he's
doing, bro?
also and he also has a YouTube channel. He talks about Argentine football.
Nice to meet you, bro.
Nice to meet you too.
Okay. So
So no, yeah. No, go ahead.
no, I was gonna ask you just like how do you guys see this group going? Just like, who do you guys think is gonna be top in this group? I think it's going to be Ecuador.
Yeah, I
I
agree,
did.
and I was listening to him, and I agree that Ecuador might have some difficulty on the offensive side, but I just think that they're a team that they showed face in the World Cup. They look strong enough to, in my opinion, top this group. I think they're the most complete team. Venezuela, with the way that Mexico has been playing, I think Venezuela can very well contend for that second spot in the group and get out of the group. But I do believe Ecuador is the strongest team at the moment in that group. And if I had to predict, I would say Ecuador, Venezuela, and then I would say Mexico
Wow.
3, Jamaica 4. But for me, it's a toss up between Mexico and Jamaica for 3 or 4.
Okay. Wow. I think in Mexico they don't make it past if they get grouped, I think that's gonna be a scandal.
Yeah, it's just that they haven't
That
been convincing, in my opinion. They haven't
yeah.
convinced me that they're capable of making it past Venezuela.
Okay. Rank, do you agree with Alvaro right there?
Having similar thoughts currently,
Yeah.
just because of what we saw lately about Mexico. They did have a very decent game against Brazil recently, but Brazil is going to be another talking point, I believe.
No.
And yeah, just seeing I think a lot of what Mexico struggles currently come from mentality. I really don't see how this team reacts when the going gets tough. especially against these South American teams who just are going to take the game to you, are going to be extremely physical. And Jesus Christ. I do think that Jamaica is going to be bottom. They are a mess currently. Did you see that they released their squad announcing that Leon Bailey is called up, and then his agent had to come out and say, no, he's rejecting that invitation. He's done with the national team.
That's crazy. I don't understand how that happens.
The Jamaican FA is a joke. The team has no structure. They have a lot of individual great players, but they are not a team. And on top of that, I feel like Mexico always finds a way to beat them. We saw that in the Gold Cup as well. So I think that Mexico is going to have enough to beat Jamaica. But in that game against Venezuela, I feel like they are not going to expect what Venezuela is going to bring to the table. They are. I believe that the Mexican midfield is extremely weak. We saw it against Uruguay. Obviously, Uruguay is a different breed, but the Mexican midfield got completely overrun, and I feel like Venezuela could do something similar to them and just play quick on the wings with Soteldo and just win that game surprisingly. And yeah, I have Venezuela advancing in second place and Mexico getting grouped.
Okay, there we have it. And now talking about Group C, we talk about one of the favorites in the competition. It's Uruguay. They're looking very, very strong. Darwin Nunez, you have Araujo, bro. The squad and that midfield from Uruguay, it's so good. And you also have USA, Bolivia, and Panama in that Group C to make up Group C. Now, how do you guys see this group going? I think number one, I think it's just obvious and clear. Uruguay. Are we having that consensus?
Personally,
yeah. I think it's clear. Prediction on who gets to the final. Well, after we finish the groups, then it's gonna go into like a bracket, and then that's when we can talk about each individual matchup. But guys, how do you guys see Group C going?
Do you want to go first?
Go ahead, bro. All you go ahead.
Personally, I feel like this is probably the most predictable group, just based on Uruguay being clear and above every other team. They are going to top and probably on 9 points as well. We saw how incredibly dominant they have been ever since Bielsa took the job and basically changed the mentality of Uruguayan football.
Huge.
Changing from this team that was extremely pragmatic and tried to rely on their individual quality up front, like the Suarez and the Cavani of old, to try and get those results. Now they are going for a different style. This gegenpressing that Bielsa always brings to their teams, being extremely annoying with the press, very physical, and always trying to gain the ball back. And it worked amazing against Argentina in that qualifier game. They completely played us. So I feel like this new system fits this young Uruguay team a lot, with Darwin Nunez, like we were saying, Federico Valverde, Bentancur, underrated players such as Pelistri, who we don't see much from at Manchester United, but for the national team, he is a complete core piece in the wing. And also players who are in South America, like Nicolás de la Cruz. I think he's completely class, and he could make a move to Europe if he wanted, but currently playing for Flamengo in Brazil. I feel like Uruguay is going to easily top. And then I feel like the USA is going to be second. They always have the edge over Panama in CONCACAF, and then Bolivia at sea level is simply not a threat, I feel like. So I am confident that the USA, even with their struggles, are going to finish second in this group. And after that, Bolivia and Panama, I think it's a toss-up. Personally, I currently trust Panama more to not concede as many goals as Bolivia away from home. So I would probably edge Panama to get third, but I'm not completely confident in that pick. Randomly, Bolivia wins that game or something, but either way, it's gonna be. Both are gonna get eliminated in my guess.
Just like honestly, just looking at Group C, I think this is exactly how things are gonna play out. I think that Uruguay is just way too strong for these teams. I think USA, despite their struggles, I do think that they still have enough to beat Bolivia and Panama. The question is, in a quarterfinal, let's say, do they have enough, to beat a top team such as Uruguay, such as Brazil, such as Argentina? That's going to be the question that we are going to be asking. But now moving on to Group D, which this one, is a little bit difficult, a little bit challenging, because you have Brazil, you have Colombia, and you have Costa Rica and Paraguay. At first glance, you say, "Oh, the Brazil's going to be topping this group easy." But the thing is, this isn't the Brazil of old. Brazil, they have been struggling in recent months and in recent years. How do you guys see this going?
Elias, are you gonna ignore me?
Oh, well,
Nah,
I
I'm
completely
playing with
forgot.
you. I'm playing with you. Um,
Uh,
I think that no, look, really quick. I don't really got much to say to add about Group C. I would love for USA to just build on what they did in the World Cup. I would love for them to finish top in the group, but Uruguay is way too strong of a team in general. So I agree with you guys. Uruguay should have the easy edge on top of the group. And then I don't see Bolivia or Panama doing anything against Team USA. Team USA,
okay.
like you guys very well said, they have top Panama in the CONCACAF. So I mean, I think it's gonna play out. I mean, again, I don't got much to say. I think Uruguay, USA, and I think Panama over Bolivia. And yeah,
Okay.
I'll let you guys start with Group D.
Okay. Okay. Well. I mean, I would just go ahead and just talk about Group D. What are your thoughts on that? How do you see
Honestly,
that?
I mean, Brazil's Brazil. They're always no matter how much their squad may struggle or compete in the qualifiers, they're always gonna be considered the favorites along with Argentina. I think that I mean I think we will all be shocked if they don't top this group, right? I mean, they have a super team,
Mm,
and okay, I mean
Ooh.
you know what? To me, it's an easy pick. I think Colombia can very well be a threat. Costa Rica had a taste of the World Cup, and they could very well make it interesting. But again, I think Brazil with the super team that they have, I mean, in my honest prediction, I don't think they'll win it all. But that's for a later topic. But in terms of this group, I do think they have the edge. It's gonna be a very good match against Colombia, but I don't think that Colombia can outplay them. And for the second spot, I do think Colombia. I want to see Costa Rica make it interesting because again, it was nice to see them in the World Cup at least
No.
competing a bit. But yeah, I'll stick to my gut. I will say Brazil, Colombia, Costa Rica, and Paraguay. Again, Paraguay just like
Okay.
Bolivia. To me, they're the easy bottom of the group in both groups. So
Okay. 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 Rank thoughts on Group D.
Personally, I have Costa Rica as the bottom of the group. I think that Keylor Navas retiring from the national team before the tournament is such a massive blow for them. Even at his age, I feel like he was still a quality goalkeeper for them, and they have to move on from that. And the team is just simply not the same. Sure, they are finally moving on from that golden generation of 2014, and now they have some young talent coming up, but I feel like it's just not the same. And defensively, they look shambolic. In a friendly we had against them back in March, they were having so many issues playing out from the back, and I feel like these CONMEBOL teams are going to expose them, and yeah, it's going to be an extremely tough task for Costa Rica. So I have them bottom. Now about that top position, the
Yeah.
problem is that this Brazil is, yes, it's still Brazil. They still have those 5 stars on the jersey, but it's not the same Brazil. Like you don't see those guys that we were used to, like those
No.
Ronaldo, Ronaldinho, Cafu, Roberto
Yeah.
Carlos. Like the fullbacks used to be Cafu, Roberto Carlos, then moved on to Dani Alves, Marcelo, and now it's like Wendell, Danilo, or Jan Couto. It's not the
Yeah.
same. And the main thing is that this team was built around Neymar as well,
No.
and now Neymar is also out for the Copa
Yeah.
America, and now
He's
this,
not. No, no,
yeah,
no. I was gonna say yeah, like Neymar. He's not gonna be playing in this Copa America due to that ACL injury, and when he did get that, it was just that was his basically like his last chance at international glory.
yeah, it's extremely tough because I really rate Neymar. I love the guy, but it's extremely tough, and an extremely tough loss for Brazil because this team was built around him. It was his team. Stop, Ricardo. Come on.
Yeah, what's up, Ricardo? Well,
No, but
Ricardo, if you want, I can send you the invite so you can join and also discuss. Just let me know. But Ricardo, we are gonna be making a watch log for that Peru Argentina game.
yo, that's gonna be fire. Now for Brazil, this is suddenly Vini's team. Vinicius, who has,
Yeah.
after winning the Champions League, there's been many talks about him being the Ballon d'Or contender, the main Ballon d'Or contender. He has to show something in the Copa America to kind of push for that Ballon d'Or, in my opinion. And I feel like just his international performances haven't been great. Probably you can argue that he doesn't have the same delivery, because I also don't rate Brazil's midfield apart from Lucas Paquetá. I feel like there's basically no one there to kind of provide for him. The the defense is a huge talking point for Brazil. They've been conceding so many chances against Mexico and the United States in these last few friendlies. And in the qualifiers, we saw them lose 3 games in a row. Obviously, Uruguay, Colombia, and Argentina, great teams they lost to, but they don't usually lose like that. And they also conceded that draw against Venezuela at home. Like that is very uncharacteristic of this Brazil team. And I feel like the main thing is that teams are not afraid of them anymore. Like people used to be afraid of that yellow jersey, and now teams are going at them and actually contesting the games. And we've seen Colombia outplay them in the qualifiers.
Absolutely,
and the way that Colombia are playing currently with, the Luis Diaz, Jefferson Lerma, John Arias for Fluminense, and James Rodriguez, who is a completely different team, different player for the national team in that number 10 role. Dude, I have Colombia top in this group. I feel like
you have Colombia to wow. See, this is where I'm a little bit conflicted, because I still think that Brazil, they are going to top it, but I don't think this is going to be like a smooth sailing as people like think. I think that Brazil, they are going to be struggling, to get that top, that first place spot. I think that game between Brazil and Colombia, that's going to be very, very key. I think basically whoever is able to win that match and able to to win, I think that's the team that basically tops the group, and that's basically the most interesting matchup of the group. But so Brazil in first or Colombia, because actually depending on who tops this, it completely changes how things look in the bracket. But okay, but are we saying Colombia or Brazil to top this, just for like the sake of the bracket? How are we doing this?
Listen, if you want to do it for the sake of the bracket and have Brazil in first, like, I'm not mad about that pick, because obviously Brazil has the capacity to beat Colombia. I don't doubt that. And obviously, always my main worry for Colombia is mentality. When there's pressure in a tournament, I feel like that's when usually we see the worst of Colombia, when there's pressure. But I just think they are playing so much better than Brazil currently.
Okay.
If I was a betting man, I think that a safe bet is to say that Brazil tops it, but it is gonna be interesting to see what Colombia can do. And I was gonna ask you guys a question.
What's up?
Let's say that Brazil wins the Copa America, but Vinny. No, yeah, I know that's not what you guys want to hear. I understand. I don't agree. I don't think that's gonna be the case. But I'm saying if it was to happen, and let's say Vinny has a mediocre Copa America at best, like he's mediocre at best. Do you guys think that solidifies the Ballon d'Or just because he has that hardware in his trophy cabinet, or I'm not sure? Because if you tell me, I don't even think that the year he had this year was worthy of Ballon d'Or. I think that the Champions League and La Liga is carrying that. But I want to know what you guys think about if he wins la Copa America with a mediocre performance.
My thoughts on that is I think it's dependent on what happens at the Euros, because the Euros, you also have Jude Bellingham in there. You have which is also a potential contender for that. The Euros are also a big factor, but I don't think that if Vinny, he has nope, Euros has more weight than Copa for Ballon d'Or. It's a French award. Okay,
I agree with that to an extent. I agree with
okay.
that.
I also think hey, what happens with Mbappe? Because what happens if France wins it? Because Vinny Jr. Played great for Madrid, but in the international scene, we don't really see that. But Rank, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, I think that what happens in the Euros is going to be also extremely important. If France wins it, you are pushing for Mbappe. If England wins it, you are pushing for Bellingham or Kane. Depends on who performs better at that tournament. If Spain win it, I feel like people are going to be pushing for Rodri to win it. If Germany win it, people are going to be for Kroos to win it.
That would be insane. Seeing Rodri getting Ballon d'Or nominations
Oh,
would be
Yeah.
insane.
But you know, people are gonna be pushing for it.
yeah,
But
people are gonna
no,
be pushing it.
like about your point of Brazil winning the Copa America and Vini not having having a mediocre performance, the thing is that that's extremely difficult to see. I feel like if Brazil are gonna win this Copa America, Vini is gonna have to play a massive
Yeah.
role.
I agree.
So I feel like it's gonna be very difficult for that to
Mm.
happen. If it were to happen, people would start questioning if Vini should start for the Brazilian national team. I've been saying that already, that his spot on the left wing is not 100% secure. And then you're going to have to say, well, who stepped up for Brazil? Is it going to be Rodrigo? Is it going to be Hendrik actually coming off the
No.
bench and making an impact? So it's going to be
And
very interesting.
I'm very, very interested about what Rodrigo's gonna do, because now
No.
entering next season at Madrid, his placement's gonna be very reduced.
No.
So I want to see if he is able to have a nice tournament now in Copa America. What does that tell Ancelotti, and what does that tell maybe other teams that are interested in him? Because
No.
this could be almost as a tryout for him.
Something funny about if Brazil, they actually are to make it far deep in this tournament. Some like a stat that I noticed was very interesting is that ever since Rafinha's debut, the only player to get more assists than no, actually, the second player in that national team to get assists is actually Rafinha. Rafinha gets the most assists in that national team. Before Neymar. That's a super interesting stat. And what's funny enough, in that World Cup, it was actually Rafinha who put in decent performances. In that venue, that stat caught me like completely off guard when I read that.
Yeah, I feel like Rafinha is definitely a player that usually flies under the radar. He was
Yeah,
also very criticized for his performances at Barcelona, but then you look at the stats sheets and he also is top
yeah,
of the assists for that team as
yeah,
well. So
yeah.
it's definitely a very interesting situation with Rafinha, but it just shows that I think that as far as the wingers go, Brazil have enough talent, and that's why Vini kind of has to start performing, or else he could not keep starting for that position.
100%. So this is, according to our group, according to our predictions, this is how, the knockout matches would play. So you have Argentina against Venezuela, you have Ecuador against Chile, you have Uruguay against Colombia. But if Brazil, if they get second in that group, it would be Uruguay versus Brazil,
Hmm.
immediately in the quarterfinals, and then Colombia versus the
Fuck
United
it.
States.
Fuck it. Let Colombia win the group. I'm dying to see Uruguay Brazil, bro. I'm
Nah,
dying to see Uruguay Brazil.
But okay, so unless you have an upset of the century, where Venezuela managed to put in a fantastic and shocking performance, I think this is simple. Argentina go through.
Elias,
And
Elias, if that happens, I want
no,
you
no,
to
no.
I want you to
I quit watching
burn I
football. I
want you
quit.
to
No, 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 no. What do you
burn
mean?
your
I'm World Cup
messenger.
champion. We're World Cup champions. That's it. Well, that's it.
Yo.
Um, okay, Ecuador versus Chile. Now, I think this we would have to see how the team. No, Peru fraud prediction. Yo, Ricardo,
true.
how's Peru in the qualifiers? Just I don't know. I haven't been watching that much international football as of late. I don't know. Just
Jesus Christ.
Okay, as I was saying, I think that Ecuador versus Chile is all dependent on how those teams are performing. Because I think in the tournament, both of these teams, they can grow into the competition.
Yeah, I completely agree. It's going to be very interesting. If Ecuador do top the group, I feel like that's going to be a very much a confidence boost for them to actually perform and finally make a deep run. Now, the problem that always comes back for Ecuador for me is just who's going to get the goals. Because
Yeah.
I really don't trust this team going forward. Yes, defensively, they are very well structured and they are very tough to break down, but I feel like Chile has lately been putting up more decent performances, like we saw against Paraguay. We saw even them go toe to toe with France in a friendly all the way in March. Um, Honestly, just based on how bad Ecuador are offensively, I'm leaning more towards Chile in this one.
Okay.
I do
Okay.
think that Ecuador has more individual quality and that they are overall a better team, but I don't think they have enough to get over the edge. And I think that Chile
Okay.
probably with a scrappy goal or something get the job on this one.
Okay. Alvaro, do you share the same opinion?
I just think that Ecuador, after after what they did in the World Cup, I think that they're gonna come riding that wave of like, you know what, we didn't make it out of the group, but we're gonna build off this. That for that, I believe that just like Ray said, they have the individual names to make it work. It's just about how's it gonna be for the goal scoring. I still believe Ecuador has the edge over Chile. I don't que no se atachen. No, but honestly, I do believe Ecuador is gonna have the edge over Chile.
Okay.
It could very well come down to a scrappy goal, like he said. But this is probably, to me, out of these four matchups, this is probably the second most difficult one to predict. But I'll still say Ecuador.
Okay, okay. Okay, so he goes Ecuador, go Chile. I honestly, I see this 50-50. But I'm gonna go Chile just for the bracket. I think Uruguay, Colombia, this is another exciting match. I think Colombia, they can harm Uruguay. I think they can cause them problems. With the football that they're playing, with the threats from Luis Diaz, James Rodriguez. But I do think that Uruguay, they're gonna be winning this match against Colombia. Luis Diaz is gonna cook. Yeah, I see him causing problems. I do see him causing problems, but I just think that Uruguay are too strong at the moment.
I agree with you. I think that matchup. I know Colombia is not a. Colombia has the potential to maybe dethrone Brazil in the group stage, but I don't think when it comes to Uruguay, which is right now a stronger team than Brazil, I don't see Colombia standing a chance against Uruguay, even if Luis Diaz or whoever cooks. Uruguay's Uruguay right now. So
Okay, okay. Rank, do you share the same opinion?
You know, I don't know if I'm being a bit of a hipster on this one, if I'm just trying to go for like the crazy result just for the sake of going for them. But I think very highly of this Colombia team as of now. I feel like they really are on a high currently, and I I think that Uruguay are the better team and that they have shown the better football overall in the qualifiers and in their friendlies, and that they are gelling up incredibly well in this system, that Nunez is in crazy goal scoring form somehow. And yeah, it's that everything is looking great for Uruguay. But my problem is always Bielsa at tournaments, because Bielsa, he's a great tactician, a great manager, but he's always so stubborn to his systems and to his players that often in tournament football, that gegenpressing can turn into a suicidal idea. Sometimes you need to know how to cool down games and rest your players and try to figure out a better
Okay.
strategy, have a plan B of sort. And uh, my reasoning is telling me that Uruguay should be winning this game, but something tells me that Colombia is gonna get it
Yeah.
done, just based on how they are performing currently, and that Bielsa tends to underperform in
Okay.
tournaments, and yeah, just that suicidal playstyle is eventually gonna catch up to him when there's an opponent that can actually punish him.
And on top of that, they do have the players to do that. They do have the player,
Hmm.
to make the way when Nunez going to show levels in the tournament. Darwin Nunez, Darwizi. Okay, okay. That's actually not that shocking. I think Colombia, they can, as I said, they can harm Uruguay. And now Group D, the winner of Group D versus the second place in Group C, you have the United States versus Brazil. Now this
I
could
like
easily
I
be
like
Colombia
Ricardo's
versus
comment on
US.
this one. I like Ricardo's comment here. The Patriots to beat the Brazucas. Yo, I'm gonna tell you right now.
Hot
Don't
No,
dog
let
country.
don't let USA get one. That's all I'm gonna tell you, bro.
no.
The
People
last game, it
undermine
ended 1-1. It ended
people
1-1.
people undermine Team USA way too much, and they showed enough in the World Cup to be like, you know what? This team needs a little more growth. Again, I'm not gonna be that guy that says that they're gonna beat Brazil, but it's not gonna be as clear. It's not gonna be as clear cut as people think. To me, in my opinion, I think USA and Brazil is more of a toss up than Colombia Uruguay. That's just me
Okay.
though.
Wow.
Okay. Rick, did you share that opinion?
No, bro, Brazil better not lose this, I swear.
No, I don't see Brazil losing. Just a
If
thing. I understand.
If Brazil loses, I don't want to hear a single Vinny Ballon d'Or comment. All right,
No, no, no,
not
no,
a
no.
No,
single one. Not
No,
a
and the
single
top.
one.
And on top of that, in that friendly, did you see the chance that Vinny Jr. missed, where he was like
At the end
point
of the
blank?
game.
Yeah, at
Yeah.
the end of the game, like the last couple of seconds, and he missed like a point blank. I was just like, oh my god, if that happens, in a potential, knockout match of the, in the Copa America, that's gonna people are gonna absolutely butcher him. But
Yeah, no, definitely.
I just see Brazil being too strong for that. And then then in the semifinals you have Argentina versus Chile, a basically a rematch of that 2016 final, and then you have Uruguay versus Brazil, versus which could easily be a final of the Copa America.
Agreed, definitely.
Hmm.
Um, as for the first semifinal, I'm gonna go with Argentina. I feel like not only we would have seen this matchup already happen in the group stage before, so this would be a bit of a rematch as well. Um, I feel like not only we have better players in every position than Chile, but we also match up favorably against them. Just in our playing style, that slow demolition that we usually do, keeping a lot of possession and slowly but surely grinding opponents down. I feel like it's going to be very difficult for Chile, and I have us make the final easily.
Okay.
Yo,
Um,
Ricardo's a troll, bro. Pulidona. Don't admit to a troll
It's
when you're.
always, bro.
He's a
yeah, I know.
troll.
Yeah, Ricardo's like that. Ricardo's like
Nah,
that.
I agree with you guys. I think Argentina is here a pretty clear favorite to win this. Um, I don't really got much to say about this matchup. I
Okay.
really like the next one, and I mean, I'll let you get to it, but I
Okay.
think we might be seeing a battle of the neighbors. You know,
We could right here for this second matchup, Uruguay versus Brazil. I think this that matchup is going to be, as I said, it could be a final. It could be a final, and Uruguay versus Brazil, basically a rematch of that qualifier that they played, in which Uruguay they did win. It's going to be very interesting to see what happens. I have Uruguay topping this and reaching the final.
I do too.
I have Uruguay on. I just think that Brazil, in the state that they're in, I just don't think they have enough to beat that, especially with the lack of Neymar. I'm sorry, I think that's a huge blow. I think Neymar, who was absolutely brilliant in the last Copa America,
Yeah.
just made off without you having to say really.
Yes. Listen,
Um,
we're gonna be rooting for Peru. We're all gonna be wishing that Peru actually do well, but it's just so tough currently. No, I agree. I think that Brazil's journey is gonna end in the semifinals. I did predict Colombia to be here, but I think that whoever wins that game between Uruguay and Colombia makes it all the way. I think
oh,
that
okay, okay,
Brazil is gonna heavily struggle in the semifinals, and they're gonna go out because the main thing that is this Brazil team doesn't have that the other teams have is character. Feel like Brazil definitely has a lot of talent still, even without Neymar, but the character just simply isn't there. And when the going gets tough, I feel like they are gonna really struggle in the semifinals whenever they face a very strong opponent. So either it's Uruguay or Colombia, I have them make it the final. So Uruguay
okay,
definitely could beat Colombia, and then I can see them beating
okay.
Brazil as well.
Okay, and this is the final right here, Argentina versus Uruguay. And guys, I'm not gonna say anything about how that final goes, just to basically not jinx anything.
The jinxing.
But this is how I have the tournament set up. And it's going to be interesting. It's going to be interesting. You have the Miami Humidity Tax. The final is going to be playing in the Hard Rock Stadium in Miami,
Mhm.
and so just saying, it's going to be an interesting final. What's up, RDS? I need a USA cooking. Oof,
Yo,
oof.
RDS, bro, don't worry about it. USA is gonna have barbecue Brazil. Don't worry, bro.
No
I
shot.
have full confidence, dude.
Oh my god. Okay, Rank, do you want to say something about the final, or are you like me, where saying like, you know what, I'm not, I'm out of here.
I feel like personally, this would be the worst case scenario for Argentina after what we saw with Uruguay in the qualifier game. I
Okay.
definitely I think we have the talent and the structure to beat Uruguay in a one-off game, and I think we have a lot more experience and character in finals. If this were to happen, I do think it would be probably the most interesting game we could see in a final. I feel like if the final were to be Argentina Brazil, it's going to be another dogfight. There's going to be like 50 fouls
Oof.
and two red
Yeah.
cards.
Yeah.
It's going to
50
be
fouls.
extremely, yeah. If the final were to be against Colombia, I feel like it would be a very interesting game. But like I said, Colombia turned to crumble under pressure. I feel like Argentina Uruguay would be the best final we could have, and yeah, it would be extremely close and exciting. Anything could happen in that game. I don't think I'm gonna give a prediction on that one.
Ricardo,
Nah,
you're
bro.
banned. You're banned. You're banned. You're banned. Okay, so we'll stop it there. We'll stop the Copa America predictions right there, guys. Definitely we're gonna touch some regards to that. But now, moving on and crossing the Atlantic Ocean, we go and we talk about the Euros. Let me zoom in for you guys so I can see a little bit better. But these are the groups. You have Germany, Scotland, Hungary, and Switzerland in Group A. In Group B, you have Spain, Croatia, Italy, and Albania. In Group C, you have Slovenia, Denmark, Serbia, and England. And in Group D, Netherlands, France, Poland, Austria. And then Group E, you have Ukraine, Slovakia, Belgium, and Romania. And the last one, Group F, you have Portugal, Czechoslovakia, and then you have Georgia and Turkey. That is the Euros. No, I don't want to keep you ranked here forever because I know the video is getting a little bit late, and I know it's getting a little bit
Hey,
late
it's
in
okay.
Argentina.
It's okay. It's okay.
But thoughts on the Euros, like how are you feeling ahead of the Euros? Do you think that there's a clear favorite? Do you think that, hey, there's like one strong team that everyone should be looking out for? How are you feeling? How are you feeling?
I think that this Euros is going to be extremely interesting. Obviously, whenever there's 24 teams at the Euros, I feel like there's obviously a lot of games that are not as interesting, but they are a lot of extremely talented teams. But I don't see a clear-cut favorite. People are going to say France or England probably should be the main teams to look out for. But personally, I don't think they are doing that well currently, and that opens the door for teams like Germany, Spain, Italy, Croatia, Netherlands to kind of get into that position of potentially winning the tournament.
No.
So yeah, I think it's going to be extremely interesting because I have like 5 or 6 teams with realistic
Yeah.
chances at the trophy, and yeah, it's going to be a very interesting tournament.
Yo,
And
from what I can see, the group of death here is gonna be Group B, right?
yeah, I mean, you could
So I
say that. You could
mean,
say that.
trying to see the other groups, this is the one group where you don't have two clear cut group winners. Because, for example, I mean, in Group D, I don't think Poland can top France or Netherlands. Group A, I think we all agree, or at least me. I think it's gonna be Germany, Switzerland. Personally,
Mm,
Okay. Well,
okay.
I
No,
mean,
no, no,
the
no, no,
thing
no.
is, it's gonna be tough.
I wanna hear you guys speak your mind. I think it's Germany, Switzerland, but I mean, it could go any way. What do you guys think about Group A?
Okay, okay. I did a funny joke that's been running is that McTominay would be an opening day dunking on Germany with the two piece. But that speaks of Germany because like Germany they haven't been good in recent tournaments and knocked out grouped twice in two major competitions in the Euros. They didn't go brilliantly. Some of their players they are in form, but the thing is like you would expect Germany to be a heavy favorite for this competition, but they just aren't. And then just looking at the overall competition, as I said, I I agree with you. I think there are many teams, for example, that have a realistic shot of winning, and it's all up for grabs. But McTominay will get a brace.
yeah.
Um, but so we can be quick. Who do you guys have been the runner up? Oh, and what's crazy? There's actually a third place. The third place
Yeah,
advances.
there are third place teams that advance.
What?
Four third place teams are gonna advance, and I have as well as I had my hipster picks in the Copa America. I also have my hipster picks in the Euros. I think that Germany is still gonna be the one to top this group. They should have enough, especially playing at home. I don't think it's gonna be convincing, but they're gonna be the team that finishes in first place. And second in the group, I have Hungary. I feel like Hungary has been
Ooh.
playing very well. A lot of players like Milos Kerke, Soboslai, Salai. There's a big structure, and they've been punching above their weight for a long time. They got that win against England at 4-0 at the Wolves Stadium, which was crazy. But they also were very competitive in the last Euros in the hard group. I feel like Hungary has been pushing to actually make a statement for a long time. I think they'll finish second. And third, I have Switzerland. They always manage to make the round of 16, and I think they are going to have enough to beat Scotland. And I'm going to have Switzerland as third place teams that is going to advance.
Okay, okay. So you have Scotland going out. Okay, that's very
Yeah,
interesting.
I really like Scotland, but they always have a very tough time in tournaments, and they're
No.
just a very limited team, in my opinion.
Okay, okay. And as I was saying, I think Group B, this is a very difficult group. I think Croatia, no, they have done really well in tournaments, just in the Euros. That's where it's a little bit questionable. Spain did play Croatia in the last Euros, and I believe Spain won 5-3, if I'm not mistaken.
After extra time, yeah.
Yeah, in extra time. And that's the tournament where Pedri, he absolutely blew into the global scene. And this Spain squad, I think it's really underrated. I think
Hmm.
with the outside threat of Lamine Yamal and Nico Williams out wide, their striker is a little bit questionable. I don't know who's going to be playing there, but also with a very, very strong midfield. You have Rodri, you have Pedri, you have Fermin Lopez, you have
I
Mikel.
think I think you forget the class player of Alvaro Morata, but
Alvaro Morata, the guy who's going to be carried.
nah. Look,
Um,
regarding Spain, I think everybody got a little hot. Everybody got a little hot when Paco Garcia was left off the club, cause, and I understand the decision. He's still trying to make a name for himself, and maybe they don't want to rush him onto the big. I would have loved to see him on the team, but whatever. It's not my decision. When it comes to this group, I don't want to. I have Space my team. I don't want to say they're gonna be a third place team. Although if they are, I think they're gonna be one of those third place
wow.
teams that makes it past. Again, I think Croatia and Italy are maybe a little ahead of Spain. Although I could very well see Spain top the group or finish second. Because again, they now have two legit wingers that they didn't have before. They now have Lamine Yamal and Nico Williams, something that they have lacked for a while. Spain was always known. We saw what they did in the World Cup. They could not score to save their life because they had no offensive firepower. And then now they do wake up with two very good youngsters that, hey, maybe this hints at a future reunion in Barcelona with Nico Williams. But yeah, this team has lacked quality wingers for a long time, and I think they could do a lot with this. I'm not sure if it's enough to top Croatia and Italy, because again, those are two very strong teams. But yeah, I can give you a prediction for this group. This group could go anyway, except Albania, because I don't know what Ricardo's saying. But yeah.
Rank. Thoughts on Group B?
Well, Albania were done incredibly dirty by getting this group. It's very sad for them. As the other three teams, I feel like anything can happen. Personally, I have Spain topping the group. I feel like
I
they
like
are going
that.
to be
I really
stronger
like
than the
that.
other teams.
I
Um,
also have them top in the group.
yeah, I think they are definitely underrated. Second place, I have Croatia. Croatia, I don't think you can call it an upset at this point because they've been for a long, long time being a top performing nation at the Euros and then at the World Cup as well. So I'm going to have Croatia finishing second and Italy in third place. And I'm being honest, I don't know if I would have Italy as one of the third place teams that progresses. I could see a scenario where Italy don't have enough points or enough goals to kind of advance from that third place. So I have Italy third and potentially getting grouped, honestly.
I have
Wow.
a
So
question.
so the defending champions getting grouped. That
Elias, I have a
is
question.
I really see that.
okay.
Hmm.
Elias,
What happened?
what did I do to deserve having three Argentinians in one stream?
You mean three World Cup champions? Refer
God
them
damn,
as
bro!
World
I,
Cup.
Three
I can't
stars,
get rid of
bro.
them.
The three stars.
They're everywhere.
Nah,
But-
look. Seeing Italy not be one of the third place teams that makes it, that would be probably that would definitely be the biggest news of the Euros. Like
Listen,
that
like
would be
I really don't trust their attacking prowess. They were relying on Retegui, who was a Boca Juniors prodigy that was naturalized to be to play for the Italian national team, and he's been pretty good for them in a few friendlies. But I feel like Italy doesn't have the
okay.
firepower. I could definitely see a scenario where Albania holds them to a draw, and they don't have enough to finish
and you know
as one
what?
of the teams that advances.
I agree with you in the sense that Italy could very well finish third because again, like I said, this group could go any way, and I wouldn't
Yeah.
be shocked. Croatia could top the group, and I wouldn't be shocked. Even though I predict Spain to top it, it could go any way. But I would be shocked if the third place team from this group is not one of the third place teams that advances. That would shock me personally.
Wow, wow. What's it called? Just quick question. Rank, what team do you support in Argentina? Because Sevi, he supports River Plate. He
No,
support.
Boca. Always Boca.
Oh, Sevi, get
Oh,
out.
that,
Sevi, get out.
damn.
Guys, I don't care.
Oh, okay, guys, let's be civil. Let's be civil now. But Sebi,
Yeah,
we weren't able to ask you about Copa America predictions. But looking at the Euros, had like the thoughts on the Euros. How are you feeling like looking at the
it's tomorrow.
landscape?
The first game is tomorrow, no?
Yeah, Germany and Scotland is the game
Germany
tomorrow.
versus Scotland.
Yeah.
If Germany don't get the win, I'll be disappointed. I feel like they're overrated.
Independiente.
I don't think they're
No.
that good.
Talleres. Vamos, Talleres. Okay, so
Do you want me to go group by group or what group are we in?
I mean, who do you think is going to be on Group A? Like, I agree here. I
B?
think,
Ooh.
yeah, go.
Group is hard.
Sevi,
I
if
think-
if you value our friendship, choose your words wisely for Group B, alright?
Okay. Spain definitely going first. For
Okay, okay.
Okay, we're friends.
Albania,
Fred.
Albania fourth, but maybe they can get a draw versus one of those three.
Oh, I think that's gonna be
And
difficult.
Between Italy and Croatia, is that I agree with what's your name?
Rank.
Right.
Right? I agree with him, bro. Italy's offense is so bad. Like they're so bad. I don't think they're as strong as obviously last Euros. I think I'll put also Croatia second and Italy going third. But I think
Okay.
Italy will
Wow.
qualify as best. Thirds.
Well, I mean, three teams are for you would
Yeah.
assume that three teams are going to be making it out of this group, which is absolutely crazy. Just like how do you reward a team finishing in third with so many teams, in the competition? But I completely agree here. But it's crazy to think that the world, no, the Euro defending champions finishing third.
Wait,
In
what
Group
do you
C,
guys put for Group A?
in Group A, we had Germany coming in first.
And who's second? Who's second?
Second is Hungary.
Okay, yeah.
I
agree with
predict
that. I agree with
Switzerland
that.
second and Hungary third, but
Hungary's my dark horse.
in my head that's a toss up. So
Move. And now, moving on to Group C, you have, one of the favorites of the tournament. You have England. You have England, who has a lot of expectations on them. And, looking at, the players that they have, your Harry Kanes, your Phil Fodens, your Jude Bellinghams, no Harry Maguire because he is injured. That's absolutely crazy. Absolutely crazy.
if England doesn't want the country to riot against them, they better top this group. Because again,
Oh, you
I don't want to hear any hot takes. I don't want to hear anything. No team in that group.
I have no idea what you're talking about, Ricardo. Like,
It didn't happen. It didn't
funny,
happen. It didn't happen.
But look, regarding this group, for Group C, okay, let's all trying to speak very objectively. England should not be finishing anywhere but first. I know Denmark is a solid team, but I don't see England. And again, I haven't seen much of Slovenia or Serbia, but I keep saying this to myself because it's almost like I want to be assertive. With a team that England has, they should not be finishing second or third in this group.
No, absolutely not. I think it's clear that England, they do finish first, and if they don't, and if they finish second or maybe third, I think that's really a cause for concern right here. Who do you guys see finishing second and third in the group?
Bro, I'm telling you right now,
personally,
Serbia. Serbia's finishing second.
wow.
Wow.
I would say
Wow.
Denmark.
I have Denmark as well.
Yeah.
Denmark, I think, are on a bit of a decline. They were one of the dark horses for 2022 World Cup, and they heavily underperformed there. But I feel like they still have enough talent to finish in second place. And honestly, I have Slovenia ahead of
That's the
Serbia. I think that Slovenia, with the defensive quality that they have, especially Oblak between the sticks, is going to be extremely important. And Serbia, they have a lot of talent going forward. You have Dusan Tadic, Milinkovic-Savic, Mitrovic, Blahovic, but they have no concept of defending. This team is always getting a lot of chances and a lot of goals, and I feel like it doesn't work in a tournament. I have Serbia finishing last, and I don't know if Slovenia is going to have enough to advance as one of the third place teams, but that's where I'm going to have them.
Okay. There we go.
Elias, allow me to finish this real quick because I have to go, but I'll give you I'll give you my predictions for the next three groups.
Okay. Yeah.
That group D, I think just like England, I think France has too good of a team to not top this group. I love Netherlands and the team that they're putting together. I would love to see them. I would love to see them beat France for the top of the group. I think it's gonna be France, Netherlands, and Poland. But again, that's one of those matchups that Netherlands could very well take first place, and I will not be surprised personally. So that's my prediction for Group E. Belgium. If you guys don't top this, yo, start a new team in a different country.
No.
Ukraine, Slovakia, and Romania should not be beating you guys. No. Personally, I see Belgium, Ukraine, Slovakia. I personally see Belgium, Ukraine, Slovakia, and then Romania finishing fourth. And then for my CR7 fans in the comments, if you guys still value,
it's called Ronaldo.
If you guys still believe that there's a debate, your goal better not finish second or third in this group. That's all I'm saying.
No chance.
Portugal again. Okay, Portugal does not have a bad team by any means, so they should be topping this group. Can we all do a call out Portugal? Hey, watch. I mean, yo, that
I'm so down for that.
That might go viral. So down. It might go viral. Now, Portugal. I see Portugal topping this group. I see Georgia finishing fourth. For second and third between Czechia and Turkey. I'm not gonna lie to you. I can't give you a real prediction because I haven't watched much of both teams. I will say Turkey second.
Okay.
But I'm not too sure about that pick. Anyways, I'll leave you guys to that. Love you guys in the comments. RENK, thank you for coming. Nice meeting you, bro. Hopefully we're gonna do more videos together. And we'll talk soon, guys.
Exactly. Yo, Ronaldo, Ballon d'Or for Ronaldo. Come on. Let's get it trending, guys. But guys, just thoughts on these last three groups. I think I would just hit it right there on the head. I think France, Netherlands. And I think these are very two top teams. Netherlands in very good form, but missing Frankie de Jong. Some people say advantage Netherlands. But under Ronald Koeman, I do think that he's going to be a miss. I think France is absolutely way too strong. In the first game for Poland, they're not going to have Robert Lewandowski, their key player. Belgium, their golden generation, it faded. They didn't manage to win anything. I do think if they don't get past this group, I think that's going to be crazy. And in that group F, I think Portugal is just way too strong for any of the other teams.
That's true.
Poland is coming last. No, I agree with that. I think that Poland is not getting out of this group. Currently, they are incredibly bad, in my opinion, under their new coach, and just basically scrape by to make it through the playoffs to this tournament. And I don't see a way that they can compete with these other three teams. And I think that Austria under Ralf Rangnick has been surprisingly good. Even with all the injuries that they have, they put up a great performance in the qualifiers against Sweden. And honestly, with the way that Netherlands are playing, I wouldn't be surprised if Austria comes second in this group as well. I feel like France is going to be very clearly the top team, but I feel like Austria could definitely give a game to the Netherlands.
So you don't look much into the recent performances from Netherlands. I believe that they won.
They won against Canada.
Yeah.
Then who else did they beat recently?
Let me see. They had a huge game.
Canada.
Yeah. They beat Canada 4. Yeah, they beat Canada 4-0 recently.
And France
Yeah,
tied Canada 0-0.
they were
Yeah.
tied 0-0 at halftime, and then Canada imploded and they conceded four. I really don't look much into that performance, and I think that I really don't rate these Netherlands teams currently. I think that defensively with Van Dijk
Okay.
and with Ake, they are very solid, but going forward, like we're still relying on Wood Weghorst, Kemiras, Bobo, and stuff, and I think it's just. I don't trust them at all, and this Austria team seems very well balanced and structured, in my opinion.
Okay. And what about Group E and Group F? Are you guys well
I
actually in
agree
Group
with that.
F?
Portugal and Turkey.
Who do you guys see
Georgia,
que
Georgia.
pasa? Georgia?
Wait, actually, let me think.
Well, what do you think, Rank?
Mm,
I haven't been really watching much of those teams.
I agree with Group E. I think it's going to finish like that with Belgium and Ukraine and Slovakia finishing in third. For Group F, Portugal should definitely be topping. And after that, the other three teams are a bit of a wild card. Turkey has a lot of talent, but they tend to implode when you least expect them. We saw that at the last Euros as well. They could definitely come in second. And Georgia are making their debut at the Euros. Obviously, they have a lot of talent. Definitely, the player that most people know is Kvaratskhelia.
Yeah.
But I do think that probably Czechia has more experience than them, and they also have Patrick Schick, who was in amazing form for Leverkusen. So I would have Czechia finishing third ahead of Georgia, but it's a bit of a toss-up. All these teams are wild cards, in my opinion.
Okay. And now the best from the third place teams. Crazy that
How many is it?
so four of the best from the top three teams are able to make it into the round of 16. I think Italy, they have to be among there. I think, for example, these four, I think it's all going to be dependent, as I said, on the form of these teams and how they do. A certain bald man in 2021 said Turkey semis. I know, that was absolutely crazy. That prediction. Lots of German Turks will be there to support Turkey. Don't sleep. Slash,
Yeah, that's
hopefully.
If this were to be the third place teams, I feel like Georgia and Slovenia would be the two to miss out, in my opinion. I would
Okay.
have Italy, Austria, Switzerland, and Slovakia.
Okay. So this would be the round of 16. You have Germany versus Denmark, Hungary versus Croatia, Spain versus Switzerland, England versus Austria, Portugal versus Slovenia, Netherlands versus Ukraine, Belgium versus Italy. What a match. And France versus Turkey.
Turkey.
Okay.
Okay, Germany beats Denmark. Denmark's on the biggest decline I've ever seen.
Germany
After
beats
Ericsson died?
Denmark.
After Ericsson died?
Yeah, I think I have Germany beating Denmark as well in that matchup.
Okay, so Germany get past the groups. Very interesting. Croatia, Hungary. What do you guys see this going?
I low-key want Hungary to win, but like Croatia's so consistent and they're so good. I think
Okay.
Croatia's going.
Okay.
Yeah, I think this matchup is deceptively a lot closer than people would expect. Hungary are going to give a really tough game, but Croatia just has that magic in knockout competition. And yeah, I feel like their experience is going to pay in this one. And they are barely going to scrape by. I could see this one being like 1-0 to Croatia, but I'd have them winning.
My bad. There we go. So Denmark, Croatia. I see Spain going here. I see Spain beating.
Nico Williams and Lamine Yamal.
Oh my God! Guys, look at that quarterfinal. Spain versus
God.
Germany. Oof. Oof.
Yeah, if that matchup were to happen, I have Spain over Austria, and yeah, England definitely should beat Slovakia.
Yeah,
England
they
are
have
getting
to.
another easy path.
Portugal, Italy, Portugal.
Oh, I mean, this is going to be tough, though. This is going to be tough. I don't think it's going to be easy for
It's not
Portugal.
gonna be easy, but I think like Portugal has too much firepower up top.
Okay.
I'm leaning towards Portugal too.
Okay. Netherlands beating Ukraine. I think so.
That one's really tough in my opinion.
Okay.
Let's make it let's put Ukraine. We can't pick all the favorites, Loki.
There we go. A wild card. No shot. Portugal again, an easy game. Oh my God.
They already got Italy in the round of 16, but yeah, I think that.
Yeah.
I could see Netherlands, Ukraine being a bit 50-50 with how Netherlands are playing currently, and Ukraine are very much determined.
I think Belgium tops it.
Oh, okay.
Belgium should win that game, yeah.
And then right here,
and
France.
France did to beat Turkey. Yeah.
Unless like a huge upset happens, like in the last Euros where like Switzerland, they beat France.
Yeah,
That,
Turkey's not that team, I feel like.
yeah, it's not. So in the quarterfinals, Spain versus Germany. Oh,
I
I see
think,
Spain going far.
Man,
uh,
I have Spain winning that.
bro, it's
Past two Euros, at least one surprise in the round of 16. But the thing is, it's so hard to
that's why I
predict
think
that.
it's Spain.
Yeah, it's so hard to predict that. Who do you guys see winning this matchup? Spain or Germany?
I have Spain.
Bro, is
Spain.
that playing home in the Euros and Copa America or whatever you play? It's such a big advantage playing at home.
Oof.
It's
Yo,
always a
it's
big advantage playing at. I would say Germany beats Spain,
My
personally.
one surprise would be Ronaldo being player of the tournament. Uh, I'm
For me,
going.
Germany beats Spain, but we can pick Spain. I don't care.
Guatemala's gonna win versus Argentina. Well, let's hope not.
bro, insane.
Um,
No, Spain Germany would be fireworks. It would be a really good matchup with Germany being at home, but I feel like Spain just have that winning mentality in them. Just in the players like Carvajal, Rodri, and then you have like we were saying the wingers with Yamal and Nico Williams. I really think this Spain team has something special, and Germany, they are still trying to figure things out under Nagelsmann and just trying to see what works better for them. I don't think they are quite there yet to be that world beaters again.
yeah. I think one of the weaknesses that you could potentially look is that that's this Spain side is really young. They have your Lamine Yamal, who's basically 16, 17. You have Nico Williams, you have Pedri, you have Fermin Lopez, all these Barcelona youngsters. But then you also have the experience of, for example, your Rodri's, your Carvajals, who can substitute that. I believe Laporta, is he going to be? I believe he's going to be starting for Spain. It's going to be interesting what that happens. Cruz going outside, bro. That's a crazy comment. But I see Portugal. I see Spain beating Germany, and I think Portugal. They beat
Yeah.
Ukraine right here. A rematch of the 2018 World Cup semifinals: Belgium versus France.
Bro, Belgium, pésimo. Pésimo.
Okay.
France.
France.
100%.
And right here,
10
England.
out of 10 times France beats Belgium. That's what
Yeah,
I'm saying.
that's the problem. Like France has that matchup on lock, so I feel like they're gonna beat Belgium. I don't know if it's gonna be easy.
I think
I could see
Belgium
that
is
game
so,
giving high
I think
scoring.
Belgium is so overrated too. Like
Belgium
other
don't
than
seem to have the
Kevin De Bruyne,
mentality.
who do they have?
Yeah, I
Okay.
have France winning as well, and I do
Ooh,
think that
this is a good game.
this is a good game. I
Rematch
think
of 2018 semifinals Russia.
yeah, I have it going the other way. I think that
Hey,
England is gonna
Croatia
win.
beats England again.
No, it's too
Whoa.
good to be true. It's too good to be
It's
true. I think.
I agree. I think right here
We
just
gotta get
England.
the surprise in again. And then we gotta get the rematch of the France versus Croatia final.
England
Yeah,
versus France is worthy of a final. I completely agree right here. I have England going through, and look at those semifinals:
Oh, remember,
Spain, Portugal,
but
France,
remember,
England.
England is the biggest choke team in history.
No,
yeah.
They're known for choking.
hmm
They would
hmm
definitely choke that game.
Okay. How do you guys see the first game going? Spain versus
Oof,
Portugal.
oof.
Yo, the Iberian Derby would be
Yeah,
crazy.
the Iberian Derby.
Bro, so
Um,
I want Portugal to low-key win the Euros and Argentina to win Copa America. So like Messi or Ronaldo finalissima, bro.
Finalissima. I have Spain winning that one.
Okay, so Spain all the way to the final. Wow. And France
I have
versus
Spain
England.
as my sleeper team. Yeah.
Okay.
I
I
got
just really
Portugal.
don't trust Roberto
I got
Martinez as
Portugal.
a coach for Portugal.
I got Portugal winning.
Portugal. Okay. France versus England.
Man, we saw this matchup so recently at the
Yeah.
World Cup, and I
And
actually thought that England played better that game.
They
But
did.
France
They did. I agree.
kind of just scored their chances, were more clinical, and bro, like I'm gonna say it, I think England wins.
England wins. Oh wow! So Mbappe gets knocked out. The baguette versus beans on toast. Beans on toast on top. Look at that. A Spain versus England final. No shot.
No
England.
shot.
No. It's not coming home. No. Right here. I refuse. There we go.
Wow.
Spain to win.
Yes, sir.
I can't vote England. I'm sorry.
Yes, sir. Yeah.
Yeah.
Honestly, same. Honestly, same. I have Spain winning the Euros. I don't think it's a popular pick at the moment, but I think
Wow.
the road is set up for them, and they simply have the mentality that I think
Okay.
the other teams don't have at the moment.
Okay. Sebi, thoughts on that final?
That's a really hard final for both teams. Not only Spain, but for England too.
Malvinas,
Yo, Ricardo, you're crazy.
Bro, this guy's always trying to start beef, bro.
Bro, a finalissima
What? Right there.
of Argentina England, I would take that any day too.
Okay. Well, guys, that was the Copa America and the Euros.
Hey, what was your Copa America picks?
Our Copa America picks.
Yeah, show me.
Right here. Let
Let's see if I can do it fast.
So no. This is our final and basically the third place spot. We have Argentina versus Uruguay and Chile versus Brazil.
I would have either gone Argentina, Uruguay, because Argentina has the easiest path to the final of like the last Copa Americas. I would say Argentina versus Uruguay or Argentina versus Colombia. The final.
Yeah. Rank was talking about that. Colombia, they're strong.
Super underrated. Not even underrated because they're the best team in form right now. But like, I see them going to the final.
He's fighting for his life for Peru. I mean, hey, Ricardo, like who knows? Maybe Peru can do something, man. Maybe Peru.
Chile's coming second place in the group.
Yeah, I think so as well. Unless we have another banger from Advíncula, I don't see how Peru make it out.
Another banger. World Cup qualifiers don't mean anything. Yeah, you're right. Okay, guys, just like final thoughts on the Copa America and the Euros. Just any thoughts you want to say before we close out the episode.
Euros is gonna be interesting. I don't care who wins the Euros. I just care about Copa America.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm feeling a bit of the same. But these Euros, I'm gonna be following it. There's no work this month. Nobody's gonna go to work. We're gonna be laying in our beds, just watching football all day because we're gonna have the Euros first, and then at night we're gonna have the Copa America, and I'm gonna watch all the games because I'm a weirdo like that. It's gonna be crazy. Yeah, the Euros is going to be extremely interesting. I think there are a lot of teams that can win it, like we were saying earlier, and the Copa America extremely exciting. A lot of narratives, and yeah, I think there's a real high chance that we go back to back potentially.
Yeah,
I think Argentina. It's just their time. We're making a dynasty here. It's just our time.
Dynasty.
It's just our time.
Question: does Messi break the all-time record this tournament?
He needs 5 goals.
5 goals.
5 goals. I can see that possible in the group stage versus Canada.
Hey.
Versus Peru versus Chile.
Sebi, I'm getting excited. Prep session for the 26th World Cup watch session. Oh my God. Watch alongs for the World Cup.
Hey,
that's going to be exciting.
My hot take is that Messi is going to play the 2026 World Cup.
I mean, that's not really that much of a hot take. It could happen. But, the thing is, anything can happen in football.
He's going to play it for sure.
Okay.
The marketing in USA would be insane.
Oh my God. It would be absolutely absurd. Well, guys, that was it for the episode. Renk, thank you for stopping by into the channel. Guys, I'm gonna be posting all of Renk's social media platforms, his YouTube channel, and his X down below in the description. So if you guys want to check him out, feel free. Everything's gonna be posted down below in the description. And we're gonna be having watch-alongs. We're gonna be having watch-alongs, reactions for all of the games in regards to the Copa America and the Euros. With Ronaldo, we have a lot to play. Oh, that's hilarious. Well, guys, also, if you guys want to hear this podcast, in another site, I do upload it to Apple Podcasts and Spotify. I know some people have memberships, subscriptions to those services. That way you guys don't, have ads. So just feel free. I also post over there. And lastly, Wayne, thank you for stopping by. And as always, guys, thank you guys for watching. Thank you guys for tuning in. Catch you guys all on the next video.